special is on the 2004 documentary Born into Brothels. I'm your host, Teresa Tolliver, and the documentary is set in Calcutta, India, more specifically, the Red Light District, where on average 11,000 people are currently working in the sex industry. This feature will analyze the sociological aspects seen in the film. 6 children are followed, and Zana Brisky, the director, is an advocate for their health and education. In many areas of sociology, research is key. Brisky does a case study. Her subjects were 6 children, all under the age of 12. They are all children whose mothers are currently working in prostitution or deceased. She also confined her study and documentary to Calcutta's Red Light District. As for the research, she used participant observation. She lived in India, taught the children photography, as well as interacted with their families. As part of her interaction, she conducted many interviews. In the documentary, she spoke to immediate relatives, but she also branched out and spoke to aunts, uncles, and grandparents. The viewer could easily understand the atrocities and negligence that the children live among. Brisky understands the need for education, as well as interviewed the school directors, and we really see how the children in India have so many hoops to jump through to receive an education. Next up, we speak to sociologist Dr. Gregory, who has a PhD from University of Chicago.
Hi, Teresa. Today I want to discuss the idea of functionalism and how it's shown in the documentary. First, for those who are unfamiliar with the term, functionalism is the approach that emphasizes the contributions by each part of society. Although there are 2 branches, latent is the one that is relevant. Latent function is the unintended and unrecognized consequences of an aspect of society. This is evident in Born into Brothels. We see the poor in Calcutta are very poor, and women see prostitution as the only option, an unintended consequence of a bad economy. Another unintended consequence is there is a chain reaction among women and their kids, because the children of brothel, specifically the girls, are expected to start working the line so they can help with family finances. For example, Pooja, an 11-year-old from the film, came from a long line of prostitution, starting with her great-grandmother. She was expected to join them.
Thank you, Dr. Gregg. Functionalism also is about the contributions made by each part of society. We are going to look at that divergently and focus on the role of children at the brothel. They are expected to clean, for example, dishes and sweeping floors, as well as cooking and shopping. They may have to go out very late, but they can't say no. This keeps the brothel society functioning. Also, young girls are taught from a very young age that they are expected to prostitute themselves when their time comes, which Dr. Gregory talked about earlier. Boys also have a job in the Red Light Society. They would act as an equivalent to bouncers when men seeking services do not pay. It is the boys' job to be mean, to make them pay. They also take part in illegal alcohol and drug sales to help the brothel make an even bigger profit. Let's take a look at the sociological perspective next. We look at the behavior of the children and customers as a whole, group, not them individually. First, the men that come into the brothels drink. This is true of them as a group. Another true behavior, according to interviews with the children, is they are aggressive and often angry, especially with the women. If you stop and think about that logically, these men are not here fathers of the year. The behavior of the children can be analyzed as well. As I mentioned earlier, they cook and clean, but they also take photos of everything. Their personal escape from the brothels is through the lens. All of them take photos of everyday life. We now have the very special opportunity to sit down with director, producer, and writer of Born into Brothels, Zana Brisky. We are sitting down with Zana Brisky and her dog, Ruby. What was your role in this film?
Well, I wrote, directed, and produced the documentary. I taught them photography as a way to escape the brothels.
And you lived in India?
Yes, I lived among them. I was their advocate, to get them into schools. I grew very connected to the children, and I knew I needed to put myself among them, in order to understand their behavior.
In sociology, we call that Verstehen. Thanks, Zana. Next, let's take a look at the different subcultures we see in the documentary. The first group is the photography class that Zana teaches, which is a subculture of the brothel children. The photography class photos actually cater to the elite society in New York. At least they did. Their photos were seen in a gallery by people who bought them. The money then went to funds to help the children into an education program. Ouiet, also part of the class, was in a subculture of his own. He received the opportunity to go to Holland as part of a prestigious photographers conference. He was selected to go and represent all Indian children photographers. Another subculture seen in the video is children without moms. Ouiet again is part of this. His mom was burnt to death in the kitchen by her pin. Some children have moms but are not very motherly. They may beat their children or refer to them as bitches and other derogatory terms. On the flip side, there is a subculture with deceased or not present fathers. Pooja has a father not in the picture. Ouiet does as well. However, his father is present but offers no support due to his hash addiction. Another subculture we see, which are many men and women are addicted to illegal substances. It is amazing to see how well the children cope despite all their challenges. Take a minute and think about photography. Do you have any professional training? Are you more likely to take a selfie or a beautiful but ordinary life moment? The children are taught to take photos of everything around them. The trees, the people, whatever captures them. They also use cameras with film. We interviewed 4 American children and you can see the differences and similarities. Can you state your name for me?
Really?
Really? What's your name?
William, what are you saying?
Okay, William. How old are you?
7.
7. Okay.
Seriously, you
Oh
think?
man, did it drop? Okay. Do you like to take photos?
No.
No, you don't. As you see in the first interview of the child, he doesn't even like to take photos, already putting him in a different subculture than the children in India. He's a subculture where photos isn't a way of their life. It's not part of their education. Not at all. Whereas in India, the 6 children that take the photography class from the brothels, that's their only way of life. So can you state your name?
Michael,
All right, and how old are you?
12.
12, okay. So Michael, do you like to take pictures, like photographs?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay, what types of things do you like to photograph? People, things, trees, nature?
I photograph some nature and other people here at home.
Okay. If you were to go to an exhibit and look at photos of, would you go to an exhibit and look at photos other people have taken, like kind of a museum but with just photographs?
Yes.
So that's something that would interest you? Yeah. Okay. What type of device do you use to take photos? Do you use a camera? Do you use a phone?
I use my Google tablet.
Okay, your tablet. All right. Okay, we're recording. Can you give me your full name?
Anthony Roberto Garcia,
How old are you?
7.
7. Okay. Do you like to take pictures?
Yes.
Okay. What do you like to take pictures of? Do you like to take pictures of things, of people?
People.
People? What kind of, or who do you like to take pictures of?
Who? My sister, Debbie, Danny, and you.
Okay. What if you could go to an exhibit where they displayed photographs that other people took? Would that sound fun? Like, you know how a museum has pictures?
Yes, that would be so.
That would be cool. All right. What do you take your photos on? Do you take it on a phone? Do you take it on a tablet? Do you take
tablet.
a tablet? Okay. Can you state your full name?
Kathleen Ann Bald,
How old are you?
11.
All right. Do you like to take photos?
Not really.
No? Okay. If you do take photos, though, what types of things do you take photos of? People, selfies, okay. If you had the opportunity to go to like a museum that had photographs as their exhibit, is that something that would interest you?
Probably.
Yeah, okay. When you take your selfies, what type of device do you use? Your phone, your tablet, a camera?
Probably a tablet.
How does this relate to sociology? There are many ways to look at this, but I'm going to use two. First, you could say the brothel children are low culture, using outdated cameras, and they don't digitally share them like privileged American children. However, you could also say the brothel children have high culture aspects, and the American children are more pop culture. The brothel children use real cameras and are educated in the art of photography. They also had their photos in professional exhibits. All the children we interviewed had no training and never had their works displayed. I asked about the exhibit because I wanted to see if there was an interest to children as a whole or only brothel children because of their already interest in photography. It turns out most children are interested in that, going to an exhibit. Next, there's a comparison in high and low culture. To them, children here are high culture because education is available to everyone, and yet our children take advantage of that, and most would not protest if yanked out of school today. Xana worked very hard throughout the film to get education to a few children, but it isn't readily available, and schools don't want brothel children because they are the lowest economic status. They are also at high risk for such things as HIV and AIDS, which are easily passed to other students. Stay tuned for the interviews about education at the American children.
Thank you.
Where do you go to school?
Clark County.
Clark County. Do you like school?
No.
No. If you could leave school and never go back, would you protest to that? Would you say no? Like, would you want to go back?
What's protest mean?
It means you wouldn't do that.
No, I would not do that.
You wouldn't go back to school, or you would?
Oh, I would.
You would go back to school?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you plan on going to college one day? You know what college is?
What?
You know, like, when you're done with high school and you go away to a school, do you plan on going to college?
No.
No? Okay.
It's too hard.
Too hard. All right. That's all I needed. Thank you. Where do you go to school?
Akron Elementary.
Do you like school?
Well, I guess.
Yeah? You can feel free to be as honest as you want in these. So if you could leave school, either you had the choice to leave or your mom yanked you out today, would you protest? No, you wouldn't. Okay. That's fine. Do you plan on going to college?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay. So is this something that will be available to you to go to college when the time comes? Like, you'll have the opportunity to go?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I think, yeah.
Where do you go to school, Anthony?
Akron.
Akron. Okay. Do you like to go to school?
No.
No.
Everybody knows.
If you could leave school, like if your mom said today, Anthony, you never have to go to school again, would you be okay with that?
Yes.
All right. Do you know what college is, Anthony?
Any colleges? No.
No. Okay. So a college is when you, after high school, you...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
That's what she always doing.
Yeah, that's what Keely's doing. Right. Do you plan on going to college?
Yes.
Yes? Okay. Was it ever... will you be able to go to college? You think your parents will be fine with that?
I don't know.
You don't know? Okay. I think
Where do you go to school?
Akron.
Do you like school? Yeah. Okay. If you could leave school, either by yourself or if your mom said, I'm taking you out of school today, would you protest it?
No.
No, you wouldn't? You'd be okay with that, just leaving school? Okay. Do you plan on going to college?
Yeah.
Yeah. Are you certain that your parents will let you go to college?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that's it.
American children are lucky because they have the opportunity to go to school readily available to them. They also don't have to worry about whether their parents will let them go to college or let them continue on in school or not. In fact, many would enjoy it if they didn't. Well, this concludes our program. It shows the sociological terms and how one woman strives to bring a difference among the Indian children. Thank you for watching.